Hello everyone. Thank you so much for viewing this video. Before we get started with discussing the contents of the video, I wanted to introduce my nonprofit, the Accelerated Training Program. Our vision is twofold. First, we want to expose all marginalized groups to cybersecurity education, as well as removing the systemic exclusion of cybersecurity education to marginalized groups. Our website is www.t-atp.org. And if you would like to partner or want to learn more, please visit our contact page where you can fill out your name, your email, and a message, and we will get back to you. And again, thank you so much for viewing the contents of this video. Please check out the nonprofit when you have a moment, and let's get to the video. Hello, everyone, and welcome to day 5 of TryHackMe's Advent of Cyber. And in this lab, we're going to focus on brute forcing, and the title is He Knows When You're Awake. Ooh. So, yesterday it was the naughty and nice list, and now Santa knows when we're awake. Okay, let's get into the story. Elf McSkitty, which is us, asks Elf Recon McRed to search for any backdoors that the Bandit Yeti APT might have installed. If any backdoors is found, we would like to know how the bad guys may be using it to access Santa's network. So in this lab, we're going to learn about remote access service, listening VNC ports in a port scan. So we're probably going to use Nmap or Network Mapper. Use a tool to find the VNC server's password. So that's where the brute forcing comes in. And connect to the VNC server using a VNC client. Okay, so remote access services. So remote access service allows us to manage a computer system, that is physically in a different location. It could be in a separate room, separate building, or separate country. So, remote administration allows us to connect to these computers or systems, and it doesn't have to be in our physical location. So, there are 3 examples: SSH, RDP, and VNC. So, we're going to be using VNC, but let's talk a little bit about SSH and RDP. So SSH, or secure shell, is used almost like it is almost like a Unix like system, and it's a command line interface. So you can use it to execute commands. Next, you have RDP, or remote desktop protocol. And this provides a graphical user interface. So for people who are more visual and like to point and click, you probably will want to use RDP. An example an example of this is to access a Microsoft Windows system. And then VNC, virtual network computing, provides a graphical interface, and it allows the user to view the desktop and control the mouse and keyboard. So VNC is available for any system with a graphical interface. I didn't know that. So that's Microsoft Windows, Linux, even Mac OS, Android, and Raspberry Pi. Okay, so depending on our system and needs, we'll determine what type of control and what type of remote access we want to have. So, authentication, what is that? That's the process of validating your identity to a system. So, there are 3 types: something you know, so this is a password, and a personal identification number, something you have. So that's like a security token, a mobile phone, or a key file. And then something you are. So that's biometric. So that's like a fingerprint, retina scan, something that's unique to you. Your fingerprint is unique to you. Your retinas are unique to you. So two-factor authentication is where you will combine two of these. So for instance, it might be something you know, such as a password, and something you have, such as a RSA token, right? That's an example of 2FA because you're combining two of the authentications to make it more secure to really prove that it is your identity. So, attacking passwords. So, um, with authentication methods, most times you will log in with the username and passwords and the password. So, attacking passwords or finding passwords is great when you have a username. So there are a few ways that you can um, find passwords. So shoulder surfing. So that's where, for instance, if you're at an ATM and you see someone in front of you and you're looking over their shoulder to see their PIN, right? Password guessing. So this is where you try to guess the password of a particular person and you use like personal details such as a birth date, a kid's name, um, their birth year, things that are easily accessible. And you'll be surprised how many passwords someone will use, like the year they were born, or the city they're from, or the combination of the two. Dictionary attacks are words that are in a dictionary or a word list. And then brute force is the most exhaustive, and that's where you have a list and you go through all the items in the list to try to find the password. So in this case, again, we're trying to log into the VNC. We're trying to do remote access into a VNC, and in this case, we're probably going to use a dictionary attack. So, for example, there's a popular word list, RockU, which is a list of breached passwords, and we're going to use the attack box, and it's at the user share word list rocku.txt, and that's probably what we're going to use to try to get into the VNC server. So RockU's word list is pretty big. It has 14 million unique passwords. So even if we try the top 5%, that's still more than half a million. So we need to find an automated way because you're not just going to copy and paste that. So how do we do that? Well, okay, first, excuse me. First, what we're going to do is we're going to use Nmap. Okay, so I was right. We're going to use Nmap to try to find the ports that are open in the services. So from the screenshot, we see that we have SSH, which is on port 22, and then we have this new service, VNC, which is on port 5900. And so it's like, okay, we see that VNC is open and SSH is also open. So we want to find a way to automate this, right? Because if we're going to use RockU, it has 14 million entries. We're not going to copy and paste. That doesn't make sense. So we're going to use an automated way, and that's where Hydra comes in. So Hydra is a brute forcing attack tool that supports many protocols such as SSH, VNC, FTP, File Transfer Protocol, POP3, IMAP, SMTP, and HTTP. So if you want to learn more, Try Hack Me has a Hydra room. So the general syntax is Hydra L and the username, the password, and then the list we want to use, server and service. Okay. So for instance, in this example, we have Hydra, the username of Mark, password, user share, word list, rockutxt. And then once we start the machine, we'll get our machine name, and we're trying to brute force SSH. And then To do the other protocols such as RDP, VNC, FTP, and POP, POP3, we just changed this SSH to one of these values here. Also, we can add the capital V or lowercase v, uppercase V for verbose, and that will show every entry, excuse me, whether it was a success or failure. So it will show all of them. And this is good if you want to see the progress and you want to make sure that Hydra is using the correct word list, right? Dash lowercase d is debugging. So, for instance, if you're like this, if you don't have verbose and you're like, this is taking a long time, let me start debugging and seeing what's going on. So, in the example here, excuse me, we have Hydra again, a username of Alex, a password. Again, we're using RockUTXT, and we're doing SSH. We're trying to brute force SSH, and we turned on verbose. So it's showing all of the values that is being generated or executed against our SSH machine to try to log in. Now, so connecting to a VNC server, again, we're going to be using the attack box. Excuse me. So, recommend using Remina, and then it shows us how to log in. Okay, so let's get started. So, I'm going to start my machine. Okay, we have our IP address, excuse me, of 10.10.254.133. So let me start the attack box. Okay, so this terminal always comes up when you are using the attack box, and it's just instructions on how to use it. We won't need it in this case, so I'm going to close it. So now what I'm going to do is I am going to say mmap lowercase s, capital S, and remember that does the send scan, which doesn't complete the three-way handshake of TCP, of the TCP handshake transmission control protocol. So it doesn't complete the third step, which is the acknowledgement. And the reason you would want to use this scan is to be more stealthy or more covert and trying to hide scanning this network. So we're going to put in our IP address of 10.10.254.133. And okay, we see that we have SSH open on port 22 and VNC open on port 5900. Okay. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to use Hydra, and I'm just going to do a password. I'm not going to use a username, and I'm going to say user share wordless rocku.txt, and I'm going to say t equals 16. So that's to make our tests, our automation go faster. Otherwise, this can take a very long time. And I'm going to say 10.10.254.133 and our service of VNC. And now, Hydra is currently attacking the VNC server, and it's going, hold on. I'm going to add verbose. So now what it's doing is it's attacking the VNC server at our IP address 10.10.254.133. And as you can see, we're trying to log in with the different passwords, and it's not working. So let's see if we get a successful login. Okay, I'm going to remove the verbose. Let's run it again. Because I thought we found the password. We didn't. I if I have a big word list, so for instance, like Rock You, I do not use verbose because as you can see, we have over 14,000 records, and with verbose, it's going to show everyone. So let's wait and see if we find the password. Okay. So while we're waiting for that, the next question is using a VNC client. So we have to get the password first, connect to the target, and then we need to find the flag on the target screen. Hmm. Okay. Oh, we found it. So we were able to find it. So this is the password: 1Q, 2W, 3E, 4R. Oh, 2W. Okay. Wow. Okay. So I didn't enter that correctly. Ah, be careful. Um, Ramina and 1Q, 2W, 3E, 4. Oh, gotta click cancel. Okay, so we can cancel this because we already found the password. So now we're going to change to VNC and then 10, 10, 254, 133. And then 1Q, 2W, 3E, 4R. Okay, so we're logged in. Can I make this bigger? Okay, so we need to make this a little bigger. Okay. Okay, that's not working. Okay. Oh, that works. So, wow. Okay. Okay, so it's try hack me. I see your screen. Okay, so we use network mapper or nmap again with the SYN scan, and again we use that to be more stealthy, and so people would not realize that we're scanning their network. And we use Hydra to brute force the password for VNC, logged in, found the flag. Now, if you liked this topic, such as brute forcing and things of that nature, or want to learn more about protocols and Hydra, you can check out these rooms: protocols and servers 2, Hydra, password attacks, and John the Ripper. And that is it. So I hope that you learned something in day 5 of Advent of Cyber. And I hope to see you in tomorrow's lab. Have a good day. Bye.